On April 26, 2023, PAF's Pakistan Air Force newest acquisition was formally inducted into service. But what many people do and know is that this batch of aircraft is actually the first in a multi-year acquisition program to replace Pakistan's aging fleet of F-16s. These are Block 4, Super Mirages built by French aircraft manufacturer Dassault Aviation, and they offer Pakistan a modern, capable fighter jet with an emphasis on air-to-air combat and a heavy payload capacity for the types expected to be carried. They're also extremely quiet. So much so that Pakistan has had to train its pilots to fly them at supersonic speeds without the benefit of radar reflections or sonic booms to tell if they've broken the sound barrier. In other words, these fighters have been described as silent workhorses. Let's take a closer look at them. The Mirage family of multi-role combat aircraft has been in operation since the late 1960s. The Mirage 3 and Mirage 5 were the first of the line, and their descendants continue to serve in various roles with various nations around the world, even today. In fact, it's reported that 13 Mirage jets are still in active service with the Indian Air Force as of 2023. That makes the Mirage the oldest fighter still in use with India, but with Pakistan's recent induction of the Mirage 40, the Mirage is now available with one more country in South Asia. As we mentioned earlier, these latest additions to the PAF's inventory are Mirage 40s. This is actually a designation given to Mirage 2000s that have been upgraded to current standards. All the aircraft in the Mirage family are subsonic. But the Mirage 2000 was the first to incorporate canards into its design. Canards are small wings placed forward of the main wings. And in the case of the Mirage 2000, they helped make the aircraft highly maneuverable. The Mirage 40 takes this further with new engines, upgraded radar systems, room for more fuel, and increased internal weapons storage space. Basically, it represents the most modern iteration of the tried and true Mirage platform. Why did Pakistan choose the Mirage 40 over other options? We may never know the complete answer to that question, but it's believed that Dassault's willingness to share technology and know-how with Pakistan factored heavily in the decision. Additionally, the Mirage boasts a better thrust-to-weight ratio than the F-16, giving it superior maneuverability despite being slower. This should play in Pakistan's favor as it looks to counter India's growing fleet of stealth aircraft, like the Tejas in the upcoming AMCA. Stealth aircraft are often vulnerable to certain types of attacks that are available to fourth-generation fighters like the Mirage. More on that later. But before we move on, let's go back to the beginning. On December 29, 2022, Pakistan placed an order for 25 Mirage 40s, plus another 9 trainer variant aircraft, known as the Mirage 40 Panavia. The trainers will reportedly begin arriving in Pakistan sometime between June and August of 2023. With these two batches combined, Pakistan will have purchased a total of 34 Mirage 40s, which will likely cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 billion USD. These aircraft were all built at Dassault's facility in France, but they won't be the only ones. In July 2022, the French government announced that Pakistan would also begin assembling these jets locally. This is in keeping with a larger trend we've seen from Pakistan in recent years, building military platforms and systems locally instead of just purchasing them outright. Pakistan has also begun local production on the JF-17 Thunder, a joint venture between China and Pakistan. In addition, Pakistan is looking to license produce the Turkish T-129 attack helicopter. The idea here is that local production allows Pakistan to save money on foreign exchange and helps build up its domestic defense industry. Another reason why Pakistan ordered the Mirage 40 is because it's just such a good fit for what they needed. While not designed specifically for air-to-air combat, the Mirage 40 features an AESA radar with the ability to track and engage multiple targets simultaneously. It can carry a variety of potent air-to-air weapons, including the MBDA Mica, a long-range infrared homing missile with a range of over 100 miles. The Mirage 40 also boasts an integrated sensor platform called the RAMP. This includes a high-resolution synthetic aperture radar and an infrared search and tracking system, both of which help increase the pilot's situational awareness, especially in contested airspace. But perhaps most important to Pakistan right now is the Mirage's role as a carrier of standoff weapons. Standoff weapons are generally defined as those capable of striking targets well beyond the range of enemy air defenses. This is becoming increasingly important to Pakistan as it looks to counter India's growing arsenal of fifth-generation fighters, namely the Sukhoi 57 and the Chengdu J-20. As we mentioned earlier, fifth-generation fighters are often difficult to target and engage using traditional means. Their low observability makes them nearly invisible to most radar arrays, forcing a potential attacker to rely on other means of detection. Meanwhile, the advanced electronic warfare capabilities of these fighters mean that targeting them with non-stealth aircraft is often incredibly dangerous. Even if detected, attempting to engage a stealth fighter with a non-stealth aircraft often leaves the latter vulnerable to immediate engagement by the stealth fighter. Standoff weapons effectively negate these advantages held by the stealth aircraft. By standing far outside the range of enemy air defenses, they avoid detection altogether, while still allowing the aircraft carrying them to engage distant targets. This gives countries with fourth-generation or even third-generation fighters, like Pakistan, a way to level the playing field against stealth aircraft. In fact, some believe that this is exactly what happened in Ukraine, where Russia and NATO have been openly fighting each other indirectly for well over a year. Russian S-400 air defense systems in Ukraine appear to have lost the ability to detect incoming missiles launched by Western fighter jets operating out of NATO member states. For this reason, it's theorized that Ukraine has employed specific tactics, like launching missiles from directions the Russians are unmonitoring, and that they are relaunching decoys to confuse Russian radars. Some have even speculated that Ukraine might be employing a form of electronic warfare to actively jam Russian radars. But others argue that these sightings show proof positive that NATO has developed new forms of standoff weapons that can evade detection by Russian air defenses. Whatever the case, it appears clear that standoff weapons will play a huge role in future conflicts. Now, Pakistan already possesses some standoff weapons, but it appears to be doubling down with the Mirage 40 purchase. Pakistan has taken delivery of the Storm Shadow cruise missile in recent months. The Storm Shadow, manufactured by British defense company BAE Systems, is an air-launched, low-observable, nuclear-capable cruise missile with a range of over 500 miles. According to BAE Systems, this missile is, quote, virtually undetectable, end quote. We'll take their word for it. Another missile that's believed to be in Pakistani service is the French-made Scalp EG. Like the Storm Shadow, it's an air-launched, nuclear-capable cruise missile with a range of just over 500 miles, also considered low observable. Both the Storm Shadow and the Scalp EG were used by France during Operation Chamil in 2015. During this operation, French Mirage 2000s launched Storm Shadows and Scalp EGs against ISIS forces in Raqqa, Syria. The aircraft flew back to their base in Jordan after launching the missiles, meaning they didn't risk exposure within Syrian airspace. With the Mirage 40's extended range and increased payload capacity, Pakistan can employ these weapons more effectively in contested airspace. The Mirage 40 also carries 4 hardpoints specifically for holding standoff weapons, meaning it doesn't have to trade payload capacity for fuel. So there you have it. The PAF has taken delivery of some very capable fighters with a pronounced emphasis on air-to-air combat. Many believe that Pakistan felt compelled to purchase these aircraft due to ongoing tensions with neighboring India, especially after India began deploying large numbers of the Su-30 Mki fighter along the line of control. The Mirage 40 is faster and more maneuverable than the Su-30, and can carry a wider array of standoff weapons. It remains to be seen how these aircraft will perform in actual combat, but they certainly appear to offer Pakistan a significant upgrade over its existing fleet of F-16s. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching.